All right, here we go, guys. And yeah, if you saw the title by now, this is the future of my chartering business. And no, not clickbait. I am quitting the part-time chartering business, but let me qualify. I am quitting for now, and that will not affect any 2023 trips I have. I'm almost completely booked for the year. I have exactly one open date, Mother's Day, historically a tough date to fill. I think people don't want to piss off their wives and moms. So, hey, if you want to be in the last year of chartering with me, or if you want a trip, Mother's Day is open this year. That's the only date open. But I am going to temporarily stop doing this. I don't know for how long. 2023 will be my last year. And, I know a lot of people have subscribed to my channel because when I started doing this will be the fifth year I'm doing it. I started doing this in 19, so 19, 20, 21, 22, 4 full years of doing it. This is going to be my fifth year. I started a series of videos about the profits and losses and what it takes to be a part-time charter captain. And hopefully folks who want to do it, this may help them, or if they're already doing it, this may help them understand some of the issues you'll encounter, and specifically why I'm going to temporarily stop doing this. And I thought the easy way to do this is to break it out into the reasons I'm not quitting list against the reasons I am quitting list. And we'll start with the reasons I'm not quitting. And number one, I'm not booked enough. Well, that's completely not true. I probably turn away more trips than I actually book. I think I have 72 available dates. I book every weekend from the beginning of May through the third week of November. And then I take 3 weeks of vacation from my full-time job, 9 days in a row. And all 3 of those weeks are booked. So it's about 72 days. Again, the only date I'm not available this year is Mother's Day. So it's not because I'm not getting enough charters. If I talk to my friends, they will say, I don't know how you do it, which is going into reason 2. People person. That's not the reason I'm quitting. Those of you that have been on the boat with me know that I am very extroverted. I make friends easily. I have no issue dealing with people. I think I'm very patient too for folks who have never done this before. And, I've been on boats. Like, I did a bunch of charters this year in Florida. No knock on any of the captains I was on with, but you can tell some of them are not quite as people persons like I am. They just wanted nothing to do socially with their clients, which is fine. Everyone has a different personality, but that's not the reason. Patience, people, person, I think I have that. Third reason why I'm not quitting, putting people on the fish. I think for the most part, our trips are relatively successful. We've had some great trips, many double-digit fluke caught. Almost every blackfish trip results in a limit. I don't think, personally, my reason, it's not because of inability to put people on a fish. That's why I'm not quitting, or that's why I am quitting. That's not the reason I'm quitting. I will figure out how to speak the English language eventually. And then the last reason why I'm not quitting, difficult clients, that could be further from the truth. I know I've heard other charter captains tell me nightmare stories. I really don't have many of those. I'd say 95% plus of the folks I've taken out are great people. I'm friends now with a lot of them. And that's not the reason either. I do have about 7 reasons, though, that I came up with for the reason I am quitting. And the first one is I do have a full-time job. And I don't talk about this a lot, but I am in the financial services industry. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. I am a director at my company. I feel like I'm in a 70s game show. Well, Pat, I work for a major airline. I'm not going to name the company, but if you look on LinkedIn, you can see it's the oldest bank in the United States. And I manage teams all over the globe. And it's just difficult balancing that job with chartering and YouTube. Unfortunately, like those weeks I have off, those 3 weeks, when I get home after a 12, 13, 14-hour day, I am logging into my regular job and putting out fires and answering questions. And, my team in Ireland may have had this issue, and my folks in Hong Kong may have had this issue. And then I have a big team in the US, they may have that issue. So it gets exhausting with that current job. And yeah, and then I have YouTube, which is kind of a third job. A fishing video might take me 8 to 10 hours between, getting all the clips in order, reviewing all of them, downloading them or uploading them, editing them, and then putting it on YouTube. That's almost like a part-time job in itself. So the current job situation makes it tough to be able to just do this even on a part-time basis and not worry about that other job and then the YouTube job, the third job. The second reason, the economics. I have a twin outboard engine, 32-foot CV, twin 350 Verados. And if you looked at my 2022 year-end charter, profit loss video, I did make money, but, and it's a big but, it wasn't a lot. The profit margin is thin. And the economics of running a boat like that are insane. Over $15,000 in fuel last year. My dock this year, last year I think it was $78.50, I don't remember, but this year it's $8,185. My insurance, because I'm a charter, is over $2,000. And if I could downsize boats, all those costs would come down. Certainly the fuel would come down, the docking would come down, the insurance would come down. And because I am a charter, so this is my 7th boat, the CB. I've never, in all those other boats, 20 plus years of owning boats, I've never had to do 100-hour service during the year. In the last 2 years, I've had, because I'm, booked and I'm running charters, every weekend, and then those 3 weeks of vacation. And that's just another cost where you have to bring the boat in. They have to do service on 2 engines, change the oils, change the filters, check the bottom, the lower unit oil, change that too. And it adds up. And it winds up that you have 30,000 plus in expenses because you do have to run this bigger boat. And, running a lot of captains I know run down east boats. They're typically slower, but more fuel efficient. But where I am in Greenport on the North Fork of Long Island, to get to the spots that people are paying me money to take them fishing in or fishing at, those are long runs. When we run to Montauk, if we're going to Cartwright, it's 35 miles. If we're running to Block Island, it's 45 miles. And I can't sit there doing 17 knots. At least with my boat, I'm going 35, 36. And we're getting there relatively quick, commensurate with the distance we're traveling. So, yeah, so the economics just don't work right now. And that segues into, the third reason. I am building a catamaran, as some of you know. My build spot is coming up this year, supposedly in May, and I've opted to go for their smaller model, the 24, which will still allow me to fish anywhere I want, mostly. But it'll be cheaper docking. It'll be cheaper insurance, especially without the commercial insurance part added in. It will be a lot more fuel efficient. I'm expecting 2+ miles a gallon as opposed to, 1.4. That's my average with this boat. Sometimes I get 1.5, 1.6. Other times I get 1.2, 1.3, depending on the sea states. But I will spend way less money on docking, fuel, and insurance, and I won't have to do any mid-year 100-hour services because I don't expect to use it for more than 75 to 100 hours. And reason 4 kind of segues into reason 3. I do have friends with big boats. If we did want on a windier day, maybe a rougher day, I could always jump on with Rick, who has a 32-foot aluminum, the Metal Shark Fearless Blue Jay. I could always jump on that boat. Doc has a 30-foot Scarab. So I have friends with bigger boats. The 5th reason, I will have a little more time to focus on YouTube too. I have been trying to do 2 videos a week, and my YouTube income has grown exponentially because of my ability to do 2 videos a week. It's hard to do 2 videos a week when every free moment you have from your full-time job is spent chartering. The 6th reason why I'm quitting, and it's in the description, I think, for now. Me quitting right now does not preclude me from doing this again in the future. If, let's say, 2 years from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, my full-time job says, hey, thank you for your 20-plus year run with us, but it's time for you to go. Hey, I can always pick this up again. Me stopping chartering right now does not mean I am giving up my Coast Guard credentials. I will still have those. And that 24-foot boat I'm moving into is actually a very capable boat. My charters right now are basically limited to 4 people anyway. There'd be no issue fishing 4 people on that. And I could always pick this up again, and I would have cheaper insurance because it's a smaller boat. I would have cheaper docking because it's a smaller boat. And because it's a much smaller boat than the CV, I will have way less fuel bills. So nothing's stopping me from doing it again. And then I guess the last reason is life is short. I've seen with my buddy Doc, the cancer scare he went through last year. Unfortunately, he's going through that a little bit again right now. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Everything looks good right now. But he is getting treated right now again for recurrence of his cancer. I have another good friend, George, going through cancer. I'm in my 50s, and you know what? I don't want to die, the last 5-6 years of my life, if God forbid anything happens, that I was just killing myself working 2 jobs like this and had no time for family, friends. I can't tell you how many baptisms and weddings I've missed because I've been booked in the summer chartering. And, some of these folks have booked me a year out and they're coming from far away. And I just didn't have the heart to say, hey, I got my cousin's wedding. I can't do your charter. The charter came first. So those are my reasons. And by the way, Jigging Jerk swag, I still have a limited number of sweatshirts, $60 shipped to the continental US, t-shirts, 25 shipped, and ball caps. This is not one, I didn't put one on, but 20 shipped. If you're interested, send an email to jiggingjerks@gmail.com. Feel free to leave a comment or ask a question if you want me to get in the comments granular on any more of this. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you like these videos, hit that like button. And if you're not already a subscriber and you like content like this, please consider subscribing.